Joined the morning call, right?
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Sanjeev Yadav, and with me is Mr. Abhijit. We both are directors at Authentication and Verification Division at UIDAI. So, as you all are aware that financial world till now was covered through PML 11A amendment, but fintech was left out. So recently on 31st of January, revised SWIC rules, this is Social Welfare Innovation Knowledge, the SWIC rules were amended, which have paved the way for everyone to come and start using Aadhaar authentication. So I have not made any presentation for this because I wanted it to be more interactive session. So just to give you a brief context, the process remains the same. That now, for example, there is a financial entity or a fintech who wants to apply for Aadhaar authentication, so they will have to go to a department or ministry which is regulating them. Mostly it is DFS for financial entities. They will be submitting an application, the application of the fintech to MIT. MIT will be sending it to UIDAI for recommendation. UIDAI sends it back to MIT, and MIT sends it back to DFS. DFS publishes a notification. And with this notification, you will be making an application to UIDAI for onboarding. So you can onboard yourself as a AUA sub authentication user agency or as a AUA yourself, as the case may be. So this is a journey. I mean, this will open a lot of opportunities for the sector which was left out so far. So if someone has any questions, you are free to ask us. Yeah, please. Can someone give me mic?
Sir, good afternoon. I am Pranav Patil from Team Smilet. I will directly open with a business use case question. Sir, we have seen application of biometrics very effectively in places like airports where we have DG Yatra. People show their face, and based on face, the door opens for the security check-in. Similarly, we have attempted to have a face-based payment system where people have to go in shops of their choice, just smile at the merchant tab, and it authenticates to make the payment. Now, suppose we want to use the UIDAI database for such an app, because today the customers are registering with us and we are collecting the face data, or if we make it a fingerprint palm reading enabled, we are asking users to download our app and enter this data and create a secondary data pool with us. So is there any scope, and to what extent there is scope to make such applications, whether in fintech or health tech or any tech, using the current UIDAI infrastructure?
Yeah, thanks for this question. See, it's good to smile, but in UIDAI, we have launched face authentication, which was covered during the opening session. You must appreciate that while we are enrolling at Aadhaar, we are taking 3 biometrics. This is face, finger, and iris. These are 3 biometrics, and primarily these 3 biometrics are used for authentication. Face is now revolutionizing the way authentication was done so far, because you don't need any additional device. In face, UIDAI itself is providing you face auth RD application, which you just have to integrate with your own native application. And with this, you can do face authentication. And this is an biometric authentication. So this is coming from source of truth. Now, there are some security measures which UIDAI have imposed. Firstly, there is no local storage of data, and especially no biometrics into this. Palm, as you have said, Palm, as of now, we have not included during enrollment. So in authentication, Palm cannot be used as of now, but that's a good use case. We are currently doing POC for various use cases. I mean, when we take biometric attribute, there are multiple biometric attributes which can be taken. I mean, palm, pinna, face, nose, I mean, even veins. So list is endless. But to make this system light, more robust, currently we are just taking these 3 biometric attributes. Now, if you want to come for Aadhaar authentication, so I have already explained you the way you will be making an application. There is UIDAI specified API specifications. So you have to use these API specifications only to make Aadhaar authentication applications. Because you must appreciate this data is very, very important with this DPDP Act and rules coming. There are heavy penalties which are imposed for every loss of data. So although DPDP Act has just come, but UIDAI through its consent management and maintaining secrecy of the data have imposed it long back. I hope I have answered your questions.
I think Sanjeev has fantastically answered clearly. Just to supplement and give a bit of context about authentication and the services which is now available to everybody. When say everybody means all the entities. In our parlance, we call them requesting entities, the entities who request us for authentication services. What are those authentication services? They are primarily of 2 types. First is authentication, means you only authenticate whether that person who is claiming is that or not. Second is eKYC, means somebody pushes its Aadhaar identifier, that is his Aadhaar number or 16-digit ID, and put a biometric or another identifying element key. This is this case. So if that is right, if it is validated as backend, we also give you a KYC. Now, what does that KYC contains? It even contains the photograph of the person. It contains his name, his gender, his date of birth, address, and those things, whatever is there. So these are the 2 things. And how people can authenticate themselves? They can authenticate via, one is biometric, and when one is biometric, 1A is your fingerprint, B is your iris, C is your face. The other 2 are OTP, which a lot of you might be doing on income tax return filing. The last is demographic, we call it. It is something like that you put in a name and an Aadhaar number and just can cross-verify over an API whether that is right or not. Or a phone number, you can put it along with this, your Aadhaar number, you can put your name and phone number, and then we can give you a toggle, something like whether it is right or not. We don't say you as it is, what was that, because that is required. So that is the case. Coming to face authentication and engineering solutions around that, what I would like to submit to the gathering is that face authentication, which UIDAI has implemented, is what is you can get best around the globe. It's better than some of the solutions which is implemented. I don't tell the name of the country, but it's best in Asia. A leading South Asian country has implemented. We have seen things bypassing that and not bypassing us. So what I'll say that there is no point in reinventing the wheel. There is a standard API. You send just what you need to send is an identifier. You send Aadhaar number or a 16-digit VID. Pass on that intent call to our app. We'll do all the processing and return you back yes or no. Or either if it's a KYC transaction, we'll send you the whole details, the things which I have told you.
Yeah, just to add one more point to this. I mean, a lot of banks are currently using face authentication for AEPS transactions. So you can do AEPS transactions with face, and secondly, what Mr. Abhijit has just mentioned, face authentication, we have embedded liveness also into this. So this is again a factor of assurance that it is, I mean, a legitimate transaction is coming to you.
I know. I think we'll try to go to one more person.
Sir, this is Shivasundar Prasad from here, sir, from Central Bank of India. Sir, this L1 devices enrollment has been stopped temporarily because of some this one. So,
I take it.
so when it will be opened?
No, I'll take that question. Devices are being, I am the person who has issued those letters with my signature has gone. L1 devices of 3 models from 2 manufacturers have been given go green signal to whitelisted. We have already released the circulars and we have already sent it on first itself. So whoever is the MPOC or TPOC from your end might have got it. At the end of the session, I can share with you also.
Thank you,
if
sir.
that is great. And for remaining devices, we expect by this end of month, the upgrades from the respective device manufacturers or suppliers would complete, and based on certification, it will be released.
Thank
so
you,
it has gone
Thank
from
you.
2 vendors, 3 devices.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And maybe just time for one more question, please.
Hi, sir. Abhishek here. I just wanted to ask what we see with authentication and eKYC solutions coming out of UIDAI is they are very resident centric, wherein all our authentications and eKYCs protocols are limited to India. They are geo-fenced essentially. So I understand that this might be due to privacy concerns or security reasons, but is there any kind of a security mechanism that the UIDAI is planning on bringing so that we can use this to engage with the NRI, the wide NRI diaspora, which deserves the access to the fintech landscape we are building over here?
Yeah, currently all the authentication services are geo-fenced within India, but yes, we are working on it, and perhaps in times to come you'll find some solutions for this.
And just to add, rather than just security or in terms of that, it's also a policy decision. So I hope it's a 3-dimensional thing. We are on to finding a solution to it, and we remain committed to get something on that. But I think that's a very small part of the whole ecosystem. But they are the prime part of the ecosystem, so you want to get him. But that's very small part, and we remain committed to find a solution for that.
Yeah, I think with this we pause now, but this is amazing. I am so honored to have UIDA leadership here to sort of ask or take a Q&A. Maybe from your perspective, just last question from my perspective is, how do you see this this transformation, what you're just talking about, bring to the market? I mean, what is the visualization you have? Because you would have seen use cases. So what use cases you see will flower with your new ideas?
See, currently there were a lot of sectors which were untouched. Someone spoke of Digi Yatra. So all the airlines, these travel aggregators, they were up till now they were out of scope. Then service industry was out of scope. Then e-commerce was out of scope. Fintechs, which are not covered under PML 11A, were out of scope. So, I mean, it is opening the floodgates. Now, if you have a purpose, we will offer you services.
Brilliant. I think this is what all of us are waiting for, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Just last point, if you have any query, you can write email to us. All our emails are given on our website. So don't hesitate. Just write an email to us. We'll reply you back.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
We both, along with UIDI, would like to thank yourself, Mr. Srikanth, the entire team from Digital First, and the larger team which is doing this fantastic summit. It has been great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these guys a huge round of applause. Thank you so much, Shri Abhijit and Shri Sanjeev Yadav. Thank you.